recording. There's never a countdown. It drives me. I need 3, 2, 1. This is showbiz. What are we doing? I'll email StreamYard. They're really good otherwise.
We're drinking pink cans of LaCroix because we're manly. Hello, Mike. Hello.
Oh.
How is your Memorial Day? Did you do anything good today?
I was with the fam today, so I was good. I had some good eats, had some hot dogs, hamburgers, cheated on the diet this weekend. But
oh yeah, you Italians, you guys know. I mean, you do that every Sunday anyway. But I know on a holiday you go real big with that.
Yeah, we did. We no Italian food today, but we did have hamburgers, hot dogs, with some wings. My brother barbecued some hot Jamaican jerk wings and some regular wings, so they were good.
Is your brother Jamaican, or does he just like jerk?
He just like making wings. He likes jerking.
Okay.
He likes jerking people around.
Is your brother a big jerk, Mikey? Harry. Okay.
Jerk. Yeah, no. We're all jerks in my family. No, it was good. It was good. We had a good day. So now we're here, and you and I are both exhausted.
I'm not going to talk about what I did today, but let's just say that I had a very enjoyable walk with my dog earlier today.
Yeah. You're one with nature.
Yes, I was enjoying an herbal experience while walking through the park today. And the cool thing about New York is nobody even looks at you funny when you do that anymore in public at all. It's great. All right, let's get into some sports. Did you watch the Knicks game last night, Mike?
Okay, so I didn't watch it, but I listened to it because I was out with some friends, and I was checking the score on my phone. And at first it was close, and then it was like, oh, they're getting crushed. And then I was driving home, and I put on WFAN, and Lori Rubinson was on, the great Lori Rubinson, and she was talking about how bad of a game it was. And right before I was about to turn it off, she goes, oh, and it looks like the Knicks are back. They're within 4. I was like, what? They're doing it again, aren't they? So I switched over, I put it on, and they did it again. Team, man. Whenever they look like they're going to lose, they're going to get killed, they win. But when it looks like they're winning,
they give it up in the last second. And they've done that like a few times now in these playoffs. But it was exciting, man, because I get a lot of my Knicks updates from your mental breakdown text messages that you tend to send me during Knicks games.
I give you the play-by-play.
And yesterday, I just see your message, and you're just like, Knicks getting crushed. They're down by 20. And I'm like, oh, well, hey, better luck next year. And then just for giggles, I checked the score a few minutes later, and it was tied. And I'm like, Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what? They're tied. What do you mean they're down by 20? And so I did the same thing. I was actually working on I'm a geo nerd in my free time, academically and creatively. Okay. And I was working on some mapping stuff. So I did what you did. I put it on the radio with, what's her name? McNutt. And the other guy.
Nut. Love Monica Nut.
Dude,
Tyler. They're awesome.
She knows her. Like, here's the thing. I don't know basketball nearly as good as her level. I feel like I'm in a classroom when I listen to her on the radio. And she's just like feeding to us laymen how these things work on the court. It's incredible, man.
She's a great color analyst. Yeah. I mean, she's the perfect complement to any play-by-play person. And her and Tyler, I keep forgetting Tyler's last name, but they go well together. They bust each other's chops. And quite frankly, it sounds like Stephen A. Smith, quite frankly, I turn off the volume of the TV broadcast because I don't want to hear Reggie Miller and Stan Van Gundy, for that matter, who's a Knicks hater. Yeah. I want to hear and it's 30 seconds behind. I don't care. Or 30 seconds ahead, whatever it is. I don't care. I want to hear
the TV or the radio.
The radio is like 30 seconds ahead of it because I have like a stream.
Oh,
yeah, everything.
Well, I was going to say, can't you? We're not getting paid for this, but I know that WFA and they do the Odyssey. Can't you just pause it for 30 seconds and sync it? Wouldn't that be?
No, because it's on ESPN, and I tried that. And then when you pause it, you can only play it or stop it. I think Odyssey you can pause.
Okay.
I did have it synced up one night.
I've got mine on the Sirius XM, so I've got all the games, and so that one you can pause and play back. So actually, you can do that if you had that on your computer. But anyway, let's
people have been doing that. They said during, I guess on the radio, they were saying that people have been listening to Kevin Harlan on TV, but when Reggie talks or Stan Van Gundy talks, they put the radio on to listen.
Radio sport is not a thing that's going to die. It's going to be the only two things keeping AM radio alive in the 21st century are angry right-wing talk radio and sports talk.
Yes.
Because
sometimes they're the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on the show. Yeah, that's true.
Depending on the
but
the right wingers on the fan.
People drive a lot, and
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, not a lot, but I know 5 people that work up at Sirius, and they say that a huge chunk of their client base is just truckers, because those are the people that are in the car all day and they need entertainment. So
Yeah.
when you think about radio sports, everyone knows radio is dying. It is for regular entertainment, but for sports and obviously politics, it's really not, because people are always need it for something, whether they hate the TV broadcast, whether they're driving, or whether you're just like me and you prefer the audio from that while you're playing video games or whatever else you're doing,
Yeah. You know what's interesting? TV has become so much streaming now that nothing is in the moment. It's play when you want to watch. So with radio, you still get that sense of this is happening now. I have to put it on now, and like with the AirPod and the earbuds and, the reinvention of the headphone with all MP3 players and your phone, it saved radio because people they can listen to it any time of day. The radio shows become podcasts when they're all done. So audio is still, like my day job, like audio is still bigger than video. So terrestrial radio somehow still survives despite all the advancements. It's still hanging on. So
no, it definitely it is for that exact reason. And also I think, and I've complained on the show about this before, which is that the fact that everything's on streaming now sucks, because you have to have 9 different streaming services to watch a full season of whatever team you like and whatever sport you like. And so the fact is, people, I think, just default to the radio like I do sometimes, because they just don't feel like effing paying for another streaming service. Like, fine, I'll put in the radio and I'll go jogging or walk the dog or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I used to listen to music all the time in my car, and now it's just more. I just put sports talk radio on. I can't. Like, I've heard every.
By the way,
song
can you still hear me? Sorry to cut you off. Can
you
still hear me? Do I sound better now?
No.
I sound exactly the same.
It sounds like you more like electronic. Like it sounded like.
Oh, sorry.
The last version of you sounded better.
Okay, so this sounds okay.
This sounds better. Yeah.
Yeah. StreamYard does not understand my mic and my webcam. They don't get along for some reason. It defaults to my computer mic when I plug my main mic. It's so weird. So I was trying to figure out, trying to make it better. Anyway, sorry to cut off what you were saying.
It's all right. Leave your comments below. What version of Phil you like better?
Yeah, all 6 of you that watch this.
All 6.
But yeah. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. But as far as the Knicks go, it was super exciting and definitely a nail biter at the end. They had to knock out the last few free throws to seal the victory. But man, this team, they win on the road. They have no fear at all. It is really fun to listen to / watch.
Yeah, if you were to explain to somebody, explain this Knicks postseason to anybody, they would think you were making it up. They were like, that doesn't make any sense. How are they winning? How are they doing this? Because all bets are off, because with game 1, they controlled that game 95% of the game into the last 5 minutes, and then they blew it. And nobody's blown that big of a lead, I think, in the fourth quarter that quickly either. And then,
oh, dude, yeah, it's that one I actually watched. That one,
I watched it.
I work with a bunch of minorities, Michael, and these guys at work, they found like a TV. I think we have like a big TV somewhere in the building, and they wheeled it from whatever AV room that came from to put it in the work cafeteria so we can all watch it on the big screen. So I actually got to watch them collapse in real time. Which was on a high def TV, surrounded by people who were, really hyped up, and it was just, oh man, it was that last shot in the first game where it hit the rim, went directly up in the air. I'm like, oh, it's gonna miss. Oh,
yeah, and by the and it wouldn't have mattered, but Halliburton stepped on the line. They thought they won it in regular, which would have been 10 times worse, and that's when we did the choke thing. And then go to yesterday's game. By all accounts, the Knicks should have lost that game easily, and they still won. So none of it makes sense. So whatever happens tomorrow.
The thing is, I think the Pacers definitely had game 2. All you do is you swap game 1 and 3, and this series is basically where it was going to be anyway. Question is, can they keep winning on the road? I think they can. And that's really all there is to it, because they have, until somebody actually proves that otherwise. I mean, they beat the Celtics and Pacers on the road so far, you know, and the Pistons as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. They struggled against the Pistons, but they won. And some of those games would have went either way in the last few seconds.
That was a hard-fought series for sure.
Yeah, they by all accounts, we all thought they were going to get blown out by the Celtics.
I did. I was wrong.
I was wrong too. They ended up coming back from 20-point deficits twice. And they won that series. And now this series, all bets are off. None of it makes sense. So I don't know. I don't know anymore. If somebody says, "Oh, what do you got, Knicks in 6?" I was like, I have no idea. Nobody knows.
Hey, do I look better now? Also, the settings in StreamYard.
Plastic surgery, a lot of work.
Oh, there we go. Okay, you can see me in higher def now. I should have tweaked that before we started recording, but we were kind of running last minute, both of us.
It looks like you got a little tan. You got a little sun today. Yeah. Or that's just your lighting setup?
That's just the lighting. I have yet to have a beach day this summer. Anyway, let's get over to baseball real quick. We don't have to get really too deep into it, but Yanks took 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, swept the Rangers. That's awesome. And the Mets had a great weekend. They took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. A lot of people were saying that it was going to be where the Mets start bottoming out, or kind of start flatlining, but they are showing signs of life. Soto with a walk-off sac fly today as well, I believe it was him.
Shimmy,
he's starting to hit, which is nice, because I have him on my fantasy team, even though I'm fucking believing the Yankees. But whatever. We got our blood. Last weekend with the Subway series. We don't need to get into that. But that's really there's just like a very regular week for both these teams.
It was good. Aaron Judge hit his 18th home run, so he has more home runs than Soto has done shimmies. So I actually, after the Yankee series, I started feeling bad for Soto a little bit, because like you started to see the human side of him, and it's like, like everybody just relax. He's a human being. Like, I know he's supposed to be larger than life, and I know you're paying him close to $1 billion, but like, that's not going to change how somebody plays. He'll figure it out. He'll be fine.
I had the same thought too. I genuinely kind of felt bad for the guy, because when he straight up just abandoned the press last week, you just knew he didn't want to deal with it, and he was, he was teetering on having even worse mental issues at that point. But he is starting to hit. He's had a couple big hits, and it's again, the guy is a 280 something career hitter, and he's hitting 240 this year. All that means in baseball is that he's going to hit like 330 in the second half. That, because baseball cards do tend to even out until players get to be like 40, or like late 30s. So he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I still say in the next Subway series, when they're in Citi Field, he's going to hit 2 home runs. He
might have a game where he hits 2 home runs, because as far as being a pure hitter, he's one of the best I've ever seen. And when he starts to relax, he starts doing the shuffle. He starts getting used to his new surroundings. He gets to do his family more, who have that suite that they made way too much of a media business out of. He's gonna be fine. And we're saying that as guys that are not happy with him for his life choices, but also we're like, dude, he's undeniable. His talent is amazing.
Well, and what's pretty much everybody's already discussed this, but like, as Yankee fans, the guys we got have made the team seemingly better than they were last year. And they're not just depending on Judge and Soto for hits. They have some more balanced team.
I also have Goldie on my fantasy team as well. He's a guy who, for those of you who don't play fantasy, you won't care about this, but those of you who do, he's one of those guys that he's for some reason available in like the mid to late rounds, because he's old, and every year everyone thinks he's washed. I have taken him every year for the last like 5 or 6 years, and except for last year, he's been amazing every year.
He's having a very Tony Gwynn like season. Wade Boggs, incredible. Those pure hitters from the 80s, 90s, which you don't see too much, because everybody's swinging for exit velo, and he's just getting on base. Hits.
He's a guy who's old school.
Yeah.
And he looks at the situation. He goes, "What do you guys need? You need a single? You need a sac fly? Yeah. What do you need? I'll take care of it." He's got his Swiss Army knife of knowing which hit to get, and that's talent. He's incredible.
And I feel like he's also a guy you're going to see him hit a big home run in some moment when we need it. I feel like he'll be able to deliver. Like I don't think the pressure gets to him. You know, like you say, right? Thought he was
he's
washed.
playoff tested. Remember, he was with
Arizona.
He was with the Diamondbacks for a while, and then the Cardinals, who are usually in the playoffs. So it's not like he's a guy who's like, I never got to make the playoffs, so for my last year or two, I want to play for a good team. No, he's been on good teams. So like, you know,
he's a vet.
He's been there.
He's a typical definition of a vet. He's a guy. If you're a young player on a team, you hang out next to him and pick his brain because he knows what he's doing.
Yes, he rules. All right, so let's get to the reactionary part of the show. I don't know which one you're doing first, but I know the Yanks are playing the Angels, so I found a really fun Mike Scioscia Angels ad. I don't know if that's the one you're doing first or not.
Yeah, let's do that one first. Former Dodgers catcher turned Angels manager Mike Scioscia, who also appeared on The Simpsons, by the way. Back in the 80s. Let's take early 90s. Let's take a look at this.
Hey, Ed, have a good game tonight.
Hey, you too, Mike. Hey, Mike, by the way, my wife wanted to get our kitchen remodeled, so we went to Howard's and got all new appliances.
I like the big screens. Huge selection.
Yeah, but their prices on appliances are great.
I like the big screens.
I like the appliances.
Big screens.
Appliances.
Big screens.
Appliances.
Appliances.
Big screen. Okay, that does it, Sochi. You're out of here.
Ed, relax. The game hasn't even started yet.
Appliances.
Go to Howard's and go home happy.
little Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, duck season, rabbit season.
It reminds me of the Miller Lite ads we've done where it's like less filling tastes great. It kind of reminds me of that with the back and forth as well. It's fun. Neither of them can act that well, but they did good enough for a local appliance commercial. That look, we on this show pick apart things that we were never supposed to even see in the first place, so we can't really crap on them too bad for not being able to act that well.
Yeah, local commercial spots are pretty much like this. I mean, like we'll hear on the radio players saying this is so and so, and you're listening to WFAN, and they sound like robots, no emotion, you know, because they're not pros at reading.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, exactly. They don't get paid to do that.
Yeah,
but
I like how the umpire comes out and he's like, "Look, let me just like I'm not looking anywhere." He looks the other way. Like, look how he coming out. Oh wait, I have to look the other way. So
actually, I like that. Like you're not gonna see Mike Scioscia, who's like 6'2" in a giant red, starter jacket coming down the hall, and your periffs there, buddy. No, that was good though. I like that.
Hilarious. Yeah.
I wonder how many takes they did. I always wonder that. This one, I feel like they did only a couple, to be honest.
It is good writing. They throw them out and everything. That was good.
It's fun for Howard's appliance and big screens.
Big screens.
I have no idea what year that was because Mike Scioscia was a manager for like 20 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's been a while since he managed. Who's their manager now? Is it
Well, we're gonna find out when we finish this and get to watch the Yankees game. But
they're on. They're on now actually. All right, let's go to the next one.
I love the West Coast Yankees games.
This is the 1990 Pacers, Clark Kellogg.
This one's fun. I'm kind of upset B-Rabs is not here to watch this with us, but let's rock it.
Have we got something for you?
Master C on the floor, Mastercard to your door. Take me down my favorite aisle, take me out tonight in style. Get the best, it's not too hard, with your Pacers Mastercard.
Apply for your Pacers Mastercard, a preferred interest rate, and special Pacers promotions just for cardholders.
Yeah, get the best, it's not too hard, with your Pacers Mastercard.
What did I tell you?
He's having a night tonight.
This guy reminds me from Turk from Scrubs a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Donald Faison, whatever his name is.
Yeah. So Clark Kellogg does a lot of the college CBS games, but I like right here where he's like, "All right, we need you to open the window and smile," but he's like looking off camera with the most awkward, uncomfortable smile.
Yeah,
like I don't want to be here.
He's got a bow tie and a tux on. Where are you heading, Clark?
Yeah.
Are you a groomsman or one of your teammates getting married, Clark?
Who's this is like before DoorDash? This guy's just delivering flowers. He's got his headphones on. He's like,
I love the hair in this commercial. Everybody in the hair, especially the women, have huge hair because it was 1990. And look, the first year or two of any decade is just the end of the last decade, so it's still 80s hair.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they haven't.
I love this.
It like kind of overlaps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, look at these Pacer jerseys. These are like Terrible. It's like they're stenciled on in the front.
I can't really see them that well because this is only in obviously this is just taken from some guy's VHS, so it's kind of hard to see clearly. I always notice the shorts length though, because we've come full circle. Have you noticed that we've come full circle with basketball
back
shorts?
to shorter short, not that short, but
these were the 80s short shorts. And then they kind of were regular length in the 90s. Then in the 2000s, like if you wore shorts that weren't like 4 inches below your knees, everyone called you gay. So you had to have basketball shorts like down to your ankles. And then now we're back to shorter shorts. And I'm always curious to see if we're going to make it all the way back to these or if it's going to even out at some point.
Well, now a lot of guys, and you never saw this back then, but they got the Under Armour on the arm or on the legs. It looks like they got like stockings on and stuff. And that's just. I
wonder what I don't know the sport function of that. I mean, I always wore Under Armour for warmth because I would go. I would play if I played any kind of sport in the fall or winter. Here in the Northeast, it's cold out. You got to have your Under Armour. Right. Or if you're hiking or something, or if you're just going to a game, if you're going to a Yankees April game like you and I have been to, you got to have your Under Armour.
Right. Like the guys they're covering their legs, so it doesn't matter how short their shorts are. You're not going to see full thigh. I
don't know what the function is because it's not like it's not heated in the arena, and there's not 20,000 people also heat in the arena, and you're running around. It's not like you're getting cold. I don't know. I don't know what the function is. Yeah,
I'm guessing it's for muscles. I mean, players do a lot of weird stuff. They do that cupping thing, with the suction. You ever see that on their back? Look, they got these circle suction marks. It's like a therapy.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff.
Pseudoscience,
man. I don't know. I'm not a professional athlete, but I'd love to have someone mansplain that to me sometime. All right, what do we got next? If Monica McNutt wants to come on and call me an idiot and explain it to me, I'll happily have her on. But anyway,
totally.
What do we got next, Mike?
We got a message from Larry Bird, apparently, when he was coach of the Pacers.
So he was like the president of operations of the Pacers, and they got eliminated. And he puts out this semi-dramatic video of we're going to do better next year. I watched it, and I'm like, I have to show this to the guys because it's kind of weird.
All right, let's check it out.
For being part of a great season. There's a lot to be proud of this year. 56 wins, #1 seed in the East, 2 NBA All-Stars, and tremendous fan support. But we fell short, and we all need to get a little bit better. The front office, the coaching staff, the players, heck, even this guy. We're not satisfied. I'm already looking to next year. It will be a battle, and we will be ready.
I'm excited.
I guess that was like an ad or something. I just love the old redneck Larry Bird. And then because he said that to the thing that jumped out at me about this is that when he says the thing to the mascot, they don't give it a second for a laugh beat. They just keep going, which leads me to believe that as soon as the camera turned off, he just turned around and punched the mascot because he was just so mad that fucking they lost. You see, they don't wait for the beat. They just they just cut right away.
What is that mascot? He's a mouse. He's a puma, a panther.
I have no idea. I'm gonna look that up right now because I'm actually very curious. I don't know.
It's like the Pink Panther, but in Pacers colors.
Indiana Pacers mascot is Boomer. Who is Boomer?
The Boom Cat.
He's like a panther or something.
He looks like a puma. Boomer the puma.
Okay.
If he's from New York, Boston. Puma the puma. All right.
He's since 1991. No, but what is he? Is he like a panther? Is he a tiger?
He's Pacers, the car that leads the speedway.
He's not. I don't think he's a car, Mike. That's
what I'm saying.
What we're trying to. Okay, sometimes he's called the Pacers Panther, so he's a panther. Okay,
he's a panther. Okay, so we're not gonna have a car in a costume.
I mean, you could. It'd be funny.
The Mets did that, right? Didn't the Mets
do
that?
Or they had different auto parts. You could have one guy be a oil funnel and one guy be a tire. That'd be incredible if they.
When the drill, or the jack, By the way, today I mistakenly almost said the Detroit Tigers instead of the Detroit Tigers, and yet that works because Detroit with cars. Detroit Tigers.
There's got to be a local roller derby team or a lacrosse team.
Detroit Tigers
called the Detroit Tigers. In fact, I really hope there is now.
You got the
And-
Pistons,
and
so why
If
not?
there are, then that means that
Yeah.
Mike and I are now fans. See
That's
see
right.
how easy that is
Absolutely.
to win us over. All right.
All right,
All
this
right, what do we
last
got?
video should be great. This is very famous, but this is a news report you found of the disco demolition night.
The Mets are
Yeah.
playing the White Sox this week, and
Okay.
I couldn't find any. Like, we did a few White Sox ads a few years ago. I don't want to redo any, but I always remember this is what they're most famous about. Most famous, but they're very famous for this big cultural moment. And if we had time, Mike, I would love to just sit down and watch the whole mini
Okay.
doc that ESPN did. But we don't
Yeah.
have that kind of time. We're
No.
just gonna watch a local news clip from that
Yeah.
night back in the
This is a
70s. So
former owner Bill Veck, one of his many stunts, but this one backfired. So stay
yeah.
50,000 people, the largest crowd of the season, showed up at Chicago's Comiskey Park for the twilight doubleheader between the White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. 15,000 others had to be turned away. Many had come for Disco Demolition Night, a promotional gimmick. Between games, as planned, a huge box containing thousands of disco records was blown up. The rest was unplanned. Fans stormed out onto the field in the thousands. Disco records were hurled like frisbees. Bonfires were set. Bottles were thrown. The batting cage was torn down and destroyed. Fistfights broke out. White Sox players had to be locked in their clubhouse for their own protection. The melee lasted an hour and a half and resulted in 39 arrests and a few minor injuries. The baseball fans missed the second game. It was canceled. The White Sox lost it. It was forfeited to Detroit.
All right. So that's the short version of Disco Demolition.
Yeah.
So Disco Demolition, for those of you who've never heard of this before, which I'm sorry if the first you've ever heard of this was on our bullshit show. But yeah, it was a night in the 70s where basically people went to the game, and promotion was going to be between the two games during doubleheader. They're going to blow up disco records. Basically, everyone there was like, we hate disco. That's the theme. Like, they packed out a stadium of people just so everyone could yell how much they hated a certain genre of music, which is very funny to me.
Right. Which would be like, in today's terms, protesting, I don't know, Taylor Swift, something pop, something fun.
It's funny you mention not her specifically,
right?
But so the guy whose job it was who put this promotion together about 10 years ago, he did Disco Demolition 2 because he was working at a minor league team, and they blew up they blew up a thing that was it wasn't Taylor Swift. It was like, I think it was Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber. So they blew up a bunch of like Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber. It must have been CDs or something. I don't even know because everyone has MP3s now, obviously. But they did like a Disco Demolition 2 as like a gimmick promo for a minor league.
Let's just incite violence. This looked like one of the many soccer brawls that we've covered.
Yeah, so this is serious business, man.
Yeah.
I want to know Chicago goes hard.
I want to know. There's one guy, he gets dragged off the field here. Where's his shoes? He's like, the people, their shirts are off. The shirts are off. I guess I can get.
I get. Yeah,
he's taking his shoes off. Like this guy. He's no shoes on.
Oh yeah.
What happened to his shoes?
Was he usually throwing the fire to help the fire go? Is that what he did? He burned his shoes?
I guess so.
He's like, I hate disco so much, I'm gonna burn my shoes. Like,
this is just not. And this guy with the helmet, this guy is some kind of conspiracy theorist in his basement trying to assassinate the president in some form. He don't look altogether normal.
No, he is definitely a crazy person. I think that was the guy who was the MC of the event, actually, because it makes sense.
The radio host.
He had a microphone in his hand, and obviously there's going to be an explosion, so he had a hard hat on, right?
Yeah, but what like we've seen plenty of these old sporting events, baseball, whatever the sport is, where fans would run on the field. Like, what possesses you to just run on the field? Like,
back then it was more common, right?
Well, because at one point I know at Yankee Stadium, before they renovated it, in order to leave the game, you had to walk across the field and go to the outfield and walk back there. And people would like take dirt home with them and stuff. Like.
Nowadays it'd be selfies. Everyone would be taking selfies on the field.
Yeah. So I don't know. I love the graphics though. Chicago last night. It's so telling what that even means.
Like I said, man, the South Side goes hard, man. I don't know if you've ever been to a White Sox game at that stadium, but it is not the nicest of neighborhoods. And
this is old Comiskey Park, yeah. Before
it's right across the street from where the new quote unquote new one is. I know that they're talking about putting another new stadium in a different part of town, but that's not, that's for a different episode.
Yeah, that's U.S. Cellular Field. It was new Comiskey Park, and then they got the naming rights.
No, it was U.S. Cellular. I think now isn't it called like Guaranteed Rate something? Like it's like another new stupid corporate sponsor name field.
Yeah,
it's not that nice ballpark. I've been to many ballparks, and it's like towards the bottom. Honestly, it's kind of
lame. Kind of lame. At least they're not playing in a minor league ballpark. So
shots fired. That's right.
The Tampa Bay is one thing.
And Tampa.
Tampa Bay is one thing. That was natural disaster, but the Oakland.
Don't worry. I will be going. I will be doing a thing on the Oakland situation in the next couple of months because I have free time coming up.
Worse.
Oh, it's embarrassing for them. It's
the A's manager got ejected. The A's manager got ejected, so he did the slow, long walk because the clubhouse is in the outfield. He was like, "Okay,
that's actually
me out."
Yeah.
So that was kind of badass.
That's funny. Yeah, he did. It'd be funny if he did the thing that Braves manager did once, where he like stole a base and just left with it. Like
the minor league guy threw the baseball like a grenade and it just went all out.
We did that episode. We tried to do that, but then the recording came out bad. We're gonna bring that back one week when we have Brian with us because he loved that video when he saw it. Anyway, this has been fun, man. I think we did a nice, quick, tight one. So let's go watch the game and have a magical week, everybody. Go Yanks!
All right. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day.
And happy Memorial Day.
Honor the
Support the troops, baby.
Later. Troops. All right, later.